In this video, we're going to look at how to use sends and effects channels in Studio One. This is something that I kind of touched on in level 1 in the sidechain compression video, but now we're really going to learn how to harness the power of sends and FX channels. That's what they're called in Studio One. In other DAWs, they're often referred to as auxiliary channels. And we're going to learn how to set one up by using a reverb plugin and route several different tracks to it. So let's begin by creating an effects channel. There are a couple of ways to do this, so let's start with the most typical one, which is to head over to our mixer, right-click, and click Add FX Channel. As you can see, it automatically named it FX1 and has a little FX icon at the bottom, so it's easy to identify. Also, and just to clear any possible future confusion, I'm going to explain the difference between an effects channel and a bus channel in Studio One. A lot of people have approached me with this question, even seasoned Studio One users, so let's clear that one up. Let me just create a bus channel real quick so it's easier to explain. They're essentially the same thing and they can be used the same way. The only difference between the two, besides the icon at the bottom here, is that bus channels have sends themselves, so you can get really crazy with the routing as opposed to effects channels which do not. This helps keep your mixer a little more organized, as effects channels often only have a single instance of a reverb, delay, etc., much like in the real world with analog consoles. However, if you do need to get crazy, you can always use a bus channel instead. So for the sake of this tutorial, we're going to focus on the effects channel here. Let's just get rid of this bus channel. And let's add a reverb to it. Let's click here on the plus sign. Let's type in room reverb. And there we go. You can also just drag and drop any plugin from the Effects tab on the browser. Let's just rename this to Reverb real quick. Cool. Now that our effects channel and reverb plugin are set up, let's go ahead and route this track to it. All we need to do is go over here to the Sends section, click the plus sign, and select our effects channel. And this is our send. It has 3 controls. The main blue bar is the send level, which is how much of this track you want to send over to our reverb effects channel. You can drag it back and forth to decrease or increase the volume. You can also use your scroll wheel to increase and decrease the volume. Below and kind of hidden, we have a panning control for the send signal. Again, just drag it back and forth or use the mouse scroll wheel to set it to the desired level. And finally, we have a pre-fader mode. With pre-fader mode set to on, which is yellow, whatever send level you set here will not be affected by the fader volume on this track. For instance, if I bring this fader all the way down, this send will still be delivering this amount of audio to our effects channel. However, if I leave it at the default off position, the overall send level will be affected by the main channel volume fader. So if I bring the channel volume down, you will no longer hear any signal being sent over to our reverb effects channel. Also, you can have as many sends as you want on any given track. So to demonstrate that, we're just going to add a delay effects channel using my preferred method, which is to simply go over to our browser right here, drag the plugin we wish to create an effects channel with, and drop it onto a send on any track. And we're done. Studio One automatically created an effects channel with that plugin and routed this track to it. Also, if you want to create a new effects channel and route multiple tracks to it in one go, you can shift-click to select multiple tracks like this, and just drag the effect onto any send. Alternatively, you can also create multiple sends to an existing effects channel by shift-clicking the tracks you want to select, clicking the plus sign, and selecting the desired effects channel. Could not be easier. Studio One really makes routing channels effortless. In the next video, we're going to be talking about the reverb plugins that come bundled with Studio One.
Thanks everybody for watching, commenting, and indeed liking. We really do appreciate all the support we get here on our Sonic Academy YouTube channel. So if you found this video super useful, please, we'd love you to hit the subscribe button. We update the YouTube channel every week with new content. And if you want to watch some more relevant content, just click on the videos beside me.